kind of cutting tool here. And what I have to do first is, now if I wanted to do just a flat like roof, I could take this piece here, cut a nice shape, and just put it right here like this. Do you get that? It might sag into the piece a little bit. So what you gotta do is ask me for some paper, like this thin paper I have, and we'll stuff that paper down in there, and it kind of sits and keeps that piece of slab from sagging down in there. And that paper inside will just burn out in the kiln, okay? You also can do that when we do the pieces like this too, is get a little bit of newsprint paper, I'll put some out and stuff it down in there so that it supports that roof. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So if I'm gonna do a peak roof like this, I need to take the wire tool. And this is a little bit tricky. And you might mess up a little, but you're not gonna ruin anything. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm gonna kind of mark the top right down the middle, okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take this wire tool and I'm trying to cut a piece off here and a piece off here. So when I do that, I'm gonna get down here, I'm gonna look at an angle there, and I'm gonna cut that at an angle like that. So do you see what I did there? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? You gotta center it. It's gotta be in the middle. You gotta really try to do it in the middle. If it's off a hair, it's not gonna be a huge deal. Then I'm gonna take this side, and I'm gonna try to do it as much as I can, just like the other one. Like the same, you see what I'm saying? You see how close that is to where the two of them are like the same? You want that to be as close to that as you can. Now you can go back in here and you can make little adjustments to even it out. This doesn't have to be a super tight point there. Okay, just like that. And if you need to cut a little bit more off, take any tool you want. You can use this tool again. And just, if you got to shave a little bit, shave a little bit. So you've got two sides that when you put something on there like that, it will be the same. Does that make sense? Unless you want it to be kind of funky, that's fine too. Okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is take my ruler. I'm going to square this up like I did when we made the slab for the cylinder. Okay, I'm going to cut this down the middle here because that looks, make sure you kind of think about your size here. That looks about right. So what I'm thinking here, see what I'm saying? So I want to kind of lay that on there and see, you know, how much of this do I need? And remember, I would cut bigger at first because if you mess up, you can always go back. So if that looks good or it's too big, you can always shave this back. Take it when you have it how you want it, lay it on your other piece, cut, okay, and then I'm going to take this, do kind of like a little bit of a fitting here, and you can have the one piece. See how that overlaps right there? Can you stand up close? You guys see what I'm saying? How the one piece kind of becomes the top of it. And then when you slip and score, you're going to slip and score here all the way around. You're going to slip and score here. Slip and score along here. Along here. Along here. And then where these two touch, at the top and here, you can put some slipping and scoring there. And then that's how that would sit on there. Everybody see that? Okay. Now if you want to cut the corners and shape it or whatever, you leave it a little bigger at first and then you can cut it back and do, you know, little shape things to it if you want. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Good? Okay? All right. If you can get this far today,